Good evening and welcome to the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network. It's the SPEED Xfinty Series presented by the Gold Octopus. Tonight's race is at Kansas Speedway, where we'll be racing 128 miles for 85 laps around the Kansas Speedway here. And Joe, this is going to be a very, very fun race, a tough race, and definitely just a very entertaining one for us tonight.
These guys are always great. It's the finishes are always crazy. The action the whole night is crazy. I expect nothing less.
That is for sure. And of course, we're having a couple of technical difficulties here with our scoring bugs. So bear with me just a couple of moments as we get things situated for you tonight. This has been a lot of fun. Reese Bogue is the fastest car on track right now with a 30.91 second lap. And just behind him, Stephen Kirby in the 109 machine with a 31.03. Here is Kirby with a little extra added pink accents to the race car. Obviously, October and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So great to see a lot of pink out there on a lot of these race cars going around the track here at Kansas.
Always love the detail. Always love the cars. Always love that the liveries are changing on the vehicles. Really, if nothing else, gives another reason to tune in and see, what they're going to be driving.
Exactly, and just to see the skill that it takes for these drivers to not only get around the track, but to get around the track in style is just fantastic. And always a good time just to see that. I mean, there's some fantastic painters in here, especially guys like Chris Darling, who's the sim rap guy. But being able to talk with him about paint schemes and all that kind of stuff is it's so cool, and love being able to see that.
Awesome.
As we're still trying to get our scoring bug put together, we're going to step aside, take a quick break. When we come back, we will be able to get everything squared away. This is the SPEED Xfinty Series presented by the Gold Octopus here at Kansas. Well, after a couple of interesting moments, it's never a dull moment broadcasting.
Not,
This is
not once.
live TV adjacent here, so our apologies.
Live
But yeah,
TV-ish.
yeah, live TV ish, you know. But Reese Bogue so far, like we said earlier, is the fastest on the racetrack right now with a 30.91 second lap. Stephen Kirby in second. Here's Stephen coming out off of pit road right now. Chris Darling here in the 11, third fastest with 31.04. Colton Easterday just behind him in the 60 at a 31.13. And Garrett Austin, good to see him. He's having a great run so far. P5 at the moment with a 31.28. Just a couple of minutes left here in practice tonight. Let's jump on board with Garrett Austin and take a quick lap around Kansas Speedway. A lot of real estate below the white line. You're more than allowed to go down there. Typically, that will be the shortest way around the track. Going through turns 1 and 2 here, Joe, you can run the top, you can run the middle, you can run the bottom, and each side really does have its advantages. Down low is going to be the shortest way around the track. You're going to use a lot less tire heading down there. In the middle, it's a good mix between the top and the bottom. A little bit more banking. It's some progressive banking there, as Garrett Austin was trying to get down to pit road, could not get it slowed down in time. And running the top side, you can carry so much more momentum around the top. However, you are going to be going faster, which adds a lot more load to the right front tire especially. And, you know, it's going to eat up those tires really, really quickly. But you're going to want to have one heck of a run coming off the corner to get you in a good position into turn 3 or into turn 1, as we see Austin trying to come down pit road sideways, but he's able to make it down and do a pretty good job at it as well. There
Always
is the
interesting
109 machinist Stephen Kirby. Go ahead, Joe.
Always interesting to see them coming into the pits. You know, remember that they have to slow down to anywhere between 45 and 65 miles, depending on the track. After doing, buck 90, buck 40 is just well, that happens.
It's almost like it was queued up on purpose.
Yeah, really couldn't have timed that any better.
But let's, while we're doing this, let's take a look here at the point standings quickly, as there's just about a minute left in practice for tonight's race. Here is your point standings. Reese Bogue has the points lead. And, well, for whatever reason, that graphic did not want to update for me. Bogue is still your points leader. Martin Plute is coming in second place right now. There it is. Plute 22 seconds behind Bogue. Chris Darling in third. Evan Williams there in fourth. Nicholas Cody in fifth. Stephen Kirby, Richard Reagan Jr., Stan Hausman, Tim Branson, and Ethan Amberg are your top 10 in points. Chris Darling had a great points week last week, picking up 2 spots. Same with Cody and Reagan. Whereas Tim Branson dropped down 2 spots. So he's right on the cusp of that top 10 in 9th place. So this is going to be a very, very important race for guys like Branson, Amberg, Hausman, those guys towards the bottom there of the top 10.
Yeah.
So checkered flag is out. That will do it for practice here at Kansas Speedway. Don't forget, tonight's race is the Mark's Pizzeria 128 rather, 85 laps on the racetrack. As we're waiting for a couple of drivers to come out onto the track for their qualifying effort. We see Stacy Hunter there. Let's follow Stacy, see how these laps go.
Another guy who
71
is
machine.
He's definitely going to be fighting tonight I think he was in 12th. So he is right there to get back into that top 10.
Yeah, I mean, right there, right on the cusp, just trying to get, anything going just to get those points ready to go.
So is this one of those tracks that bunch up, they like the speed, or is this more of a, we're going to take our time, we all have our little packs kind of tracks?
I mean, this is one of those tracks where it will absolutely get spread out. You'll see, a lot of fast guys up towards the front. It's going to be a lot of depending on tire strategy, pit strategy, all that sort of thing, just trying to figure out, who's going where. As, Hunter sideways. Looks like Colton Easterday so far has the fastest lap. Yeah, this track definitely going to be, or this race rather, definitely going to be more spread out. As we see Easterday there really using that apron to his advantage to try to get as much speed as possible, and he definitely got it going there. Couple other drivers out on the track at the moment. There's our overlay back to working for us once again. It'd be nice if it would just, work, but I know, crazy concept there.
Yeah, coming off of Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Days, it really didn't want to come back to work today.
Yeah, I didn't want to go to work today either, so I totally understand that one. Granted, I had to work yesterday too, but that's beside the point. Reese Bogue driving a respectable 90 miles an hour through turns 3 and 4.
You trying not to get pulled over?
Very similar to the Turnpike in that regard.
Well, opposite though, you would be trying to be pulled over on the parkway.
Fair. Bogue, the only driver out on the track at the time. And now qualifying will run silent here. Let's take a quick look at some of the track facts for you today. 74 degrees outside, quite cloudy. That track temp 79, so tons and tons of grip for these drivers. Not a whole lot of sliding around, so we'll see some guys get loose, especially coming out of turns 2 and 4 on the first couple of laps, just because cold tire is not going to give you a whole lot of grip. So we'll see a lot of that. And honestly, it all comes down to what line is going to be the best for the drivers. I know typically a lot of drivers like to run turns 1 and 2 on the bottom and then 3 and 4 on the top, just to give them a great run to the line and try to get around some guys heading off into turn 1. So it's definitely going to be an interesting strategy to see what these guys can do. As we're waiting for qualifying just to turn down here, Chris Darling on the pole with a 30.99 provisionally, as we wait to see if anyone else is going to put in a qualifying lap. Only 2 drivers who have yet to put in a lap are Sidarius Deus and Tim Branson. And as we say that, looks like we're going to be getting ourselves ready to go here at Kansas. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's race. It's the Mark's Pizzeria 128. as we see Chris Darling in that number 11 Chevy Camaro starting on the pole with a lap time of 30.997. Reese Bogue on his outside. Row number 2 is Colton Easterday and Evan Williams. Row 3 has Scott Leonard and Jason Shue. Great qualifying effort there for Shue. Stan Hausman and Steve Kirby in row number 4. Stacy Hunter and Zach Williams in row number 5. Row number 6 has Garrett Austin and Ryan Newman, with Tim Branson and Sidarius Deus rounding out your 14-car field here at Kansas. Joe, it's almost time to get rolling. 85 laps. This is going to be quite an entertaining run.
Always is. I'm really interested to see with what seems like 3 to 4 different lines on the track where everybody's gonna kind of end up.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the key. You know, are they going to want to run the top? Will they want to run the middle? Will they run the bottom? I think at least for the first few laps, it all kind of just depends on where you are on the track. If you're, you know, fighting with somebody, if you're side by side, wherever you are on the track, that's just kind of where you have to run. But then again, if you have someone to your inside, do you run all the way up by the wall like at Darlington? Do you run the middle? You know, you still do have a little bit of wiggle room. And I think the biggest thing is if you're side by side going through the tri-oval, right by the start finish line, it's all up to the bottom guy if he wants to run the apron or stay on the banked racing surface. It's totally up to that driver. So if you're on the outside, you kind of have to be cognizant of that and make sure that, you know, you leave space for that guy behind.
I wonder, on top of all of that, if fuel and tires are going to make a play. Because I know these guys love to have crazy fuel and pit strategies to kind of get some, not tips, but a helping hand. Ooh, and we already have a crash? Evan Williams? His heavy bumper damage on the back.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Let's rewind that one just a little bit. Oh, he had some connection issues for Williams. Look at that. Blinked out right by the 35 of Zach Williams. So that very well could be interesting.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, out front, pace car is off. Chris Darling leading the field to green. Green flag in the air. Clean restart for the 11 of Chris Darling and the rest of the Speed Xfinity Series. Green flag in the air. Here's Darling into turn 1. Darling gets himself a great lead. Here comes Reese Bogue on the high side charging. He's got Colton Easterday to his inside, and they're too wide further back. Big cluster of drivers there between Scott Leonard, Jason Shue, Stan Hausman thrown in there as well. Almost 3 wide as Kirby tucks up right behind the bumper of that number 3 machine. Out front, Chris Darling leads lap number 1.
Guess that answered that question. Outside line. Burn up those tires. Let's send it.
Yeah, I mean, the outside line is absolutely going to eat up those tires. But at the same time, that's not too bad of a line if you want to get some good speed early. As, Stephen Kirby having some more connection issues.
That could get dangerous quickly.
Definitely. I mean, we saw the issue with Evan Williams there in the very beginning. However, looking at the front end of Zach Williams, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of damage. Let's see if we can get that drone out there on the track to take a look. Yeah, not a whole lot of damage on that 35 machine. So luckily it looks like Williams was able to just kind of snap, jump to pit road in time to really not cause too much damage.
Yeah, I think his back bumper was the one that took a little bit of it. I guess when he blinked back in, he was just in the car. But no harm, no foul.
Yeah, just definitely a tough break if you're a fan of Evan Williams. Meanwhile, out front, Reese Bogue has driven away. Chris Darling looks like he had some issues. Let's take a look. So here's Darling on the high side. Oh, big loose into the wall hard. Oh, hard to the inside wall as well. Off the racing surface, so no yellow. But wow, what a tough break for that driver, the 11 car, Chris Darling. Started on pole, but unfortunately out of the race just 4 laps in.
Now Williams is pitted. Or is he? No, he's just 5 laps back.
Yeah, Williams out there on the racetrack now, 5 laps down. Deus is out there as well. He's 1 lap down, about to go a 2nd lap down as well. But yeah, there is some heavy, heavy damage on the back end of that number 33 machine.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's definitely one of those things where you'll sit there and say, okay, in real life, obviously that never would have happened. But you almost kind of have to sit there and say, okay, in real life, that could probably, the 60 catches the apron just a little bit. That's going to have him lose a bit of position or a little bit of time there on Bogue. But as I was saying, you almost have to kind of equate that to equipment damage.
Yeah.
Something broke on the car. You had to take it down pit road to get it fixed during the during the pace lap. Different things like that. You kind of have to equate that just to balance out that suspension of belief when it comes to racing in a video game versus real life versus a simulator like this.
Right. Things do happen. You never know.
Exactly. And right now we've got a great battle here for 2nd. Let's jump on board with Reese Bogue. You see Garrett Austin there on the inside trying to get around Stan Hausman. He does. And you can just see how rough that transition from banking to flat is on the apron.
It always surprises me how rough that transition is for how fast they're going.
Definitely will rattle the old fillings, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, didn't even take into account how stiff the suspension is.
They're certainly not off-roading at this place.
No.
Or at least purposefully off-roading.
Right, yeah. I mean, until you win, then very much on purpose.
Very true.
Gardner's worst nightmare.
They certainly don't like it when you celebrate in the grass after winning in Daytona, but if you won the Daytona 500, you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want.
I would love to interview a landscaper for NASCAR.
Got ourselves a pretty decent battle here. A couple of just 2-car packs all throughout the racetrack right now.
Yeah.
Shu trying to catch up to Stacy Hunter here. That is your gap right now. Meanwhile, out front, we've got to fight for the lead. Here comes Bogue to the inside, all over the back bumper of the 60 Stacy Hunter. Easterday down low. Bogue trying to run the top just to get a little more momentum. I believe these drivers have 2 sets of tires in the pits. Which means they'll be able to come down and take tires twice during the race.
Right.
Barring anything else wild and crazy happening.
Right. That never happens. Not here.
No, not at all. Yeah, so, okay, it looks like there's 3 sets of tires in the pits for tonight, and the drivers are running with 65% fuel. So odds are they'll be trying to push it to lap 45, give or take, just so they only need to come down pit road once. But if an opportune yellow comes out, maybe they'll jump down, get that tire advantage going. We'll see. As Easterday catches the 12 of Deus, just to put him a second lap down. Garrett Austin has caught the 04 of Bogue. Catching him one thing, though, is something completely different than getting around him.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes catching him is the easy part. It's getting around them.
That's certainly the hard part there. Some fantastic camera angles. Tonight's camera angles are brought to you by Track Cams for Gourmets. You can check them out in the link in the description below.
Always just fantastic cameras.
And it really does feel like they've captured the essence of, you know, watching a race on the broadcast in real life.
Yeah, they are fantastic camera angles.
Complete with camera shake and everything.
Yeah.
So we've got ourselves a pretty decent battle here for second. Top 3 all separated by half a second between each driver. Can even add the 109 of Kirby into that mix. He's kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, kind of snuck himself in there, huh?
Yeah, and I think that was one of those, all right, everyone else is busy fighting. That's going to slow everyone down. And that's when Kirby just says, all right, excuse me, pardon me, coming through.
Let's see, we've kind of broken up into 2, for the most part, 2 packs.
Yeah, you can see that on your screen right now. You have the main pack that goes all the way back down to, looks like Stan Hausman. And then from Hausman on back, there's Williams, Hunter, Leonard, and the rest of the crew. Just about 6 seconds separating themselves from the lead guys.
Now, if I'm Newman or Branson or Shu or Leonard, I'm hoping someone's got a yellow, right? Just need to reset.
Yeah, just reset. You don't even need really a pit stop at this point. I feel like at this time, if there's a yellow, I'm sure everyone would come down to get tires. You have 3 in the pits anyway.
Yeah.
You know, but I would even be saying, all right, you know, I feel like I went a little too slow on this run. Maybe I need to pick up the pace a bit more. But I'm not going to catch him right now. Let's get that yellow. Let's slow everything down. Get us caught up with the rest of the field. And maybe try to make a run for it. Already a quarter of the way into this race.
It looks like, for the most part, they're putting out about the same lap time, about 32 and a half second laps here as I'm following Shu. I'm wondering if there would be a yellow. Would you pit? Because it doesn't seem like the tires are really, at this point, too affected.
I feel like at this point in the race, I still would come down just because, you know, they may be fine now, but 20 laps from now, do you want tires the way they're handling now, or do you want them to be worse? That's kind of the thought process there. And if you take a look here on the scoring tower, that is everyone's last lap that they ran. So Easterday at 32:29, Bogue about a hundredth of a second faster. Kirby 32.52. So, you know, you are seeing as 34 got in the wall just a little bit. So those lap times all relatively similar. So, Joe, you might be right. You know, tires not really playing all that much of a factor so far.
Right.
But that being said, I mean, taking a look at the track temp, it's only 80 degrees. You know, air temp 74, so it's going to be cold. There's a ton of grip in that asphalt right now. So, you know, I can see tire temps and everything like that staying pretty well as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So quarter of the way through this one, Colton Easterday has opened up his lead to just about a second over Reese Bogue, as we see Bogue there in that black and green machine. Kirby has gotten around Garrett Austin. Austin being hounded there by the 12 of Deus. Deus trying to do a little crossover move. Can't quite get that move done. Stan Hausman about 2 seconds back from that fight. And then we're going to have to wait a whole 7, almost 8 seconds to see this pack of cars. But this pack of cars all on top of each other right now. Between Zach Williams, Scott Leonard, Tim Branson, Jason Shue, Stacy Hunter in there as well. This has been a good little dogfight here.
Yeah, very back and forth.
As now we see Williams there taking the point. Here comes Shue to the inside. Shue's going to slot that number 3 Camaro right in front of the 71 of Hunter. Here comes Hunter taking a peek to the outside, not quite able to do anything. Just behind him is the 19 of Scott Leonard. Still side by side. This is a great little battle going. And the closest on track at the moment. Williams catches the wall a little bit. Shue is there on his inside. So we'll move Shue up to 6th place. And Joe, that gap is growing bigger and bigger each time.
Yeah, that's it's a pretty big gap at this point, almost 2 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, and even if you look at that right now, the leader is at the halfway mark of the backstretch.
Yeah.
This pack here just crossed the start-finish line. So
Yeah,
almost half a lap behind already in 30 laps. Add in pit stops, add in some more. We could be looking at some lap traffic pretty soon if this race stays green.
Yeah. Like I said, if I'm in that second pack, I'm hoping for a yellow.
Definitely waiting and saying, hey, I'll give you $5 if someone wants to spin out and just park it on the track. I'll buy next week's track for you.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile,
overall, a very clean race.
Oh, absolutely. And the only issue that we really saw was, looks like, the 19 got into the wall just a little bit. And we have drivers heading down pit road, Joe. So the first taker of the race, that's this guy, 39 of Stan Hausman.
Interesting. So 31 laps in.
Oh, Branson slides into the wall.
I feel like that one's on me.
You know, I definitely think you jinxed it, because let's take a look here. Let's jump on board with the 39, or the 92 rather, and just see what happened. So we see he's slowing down onto pit road. One extra downshift too much. Little scrape of the wall, though. Didn't look like he damaged it too badly.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing there is just the time it's going to take you to throw it in reverse, pull back a little bit, get back to where you were going, and then start your pit.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do at that point. As we see the 04 of Reese Bogue heading down pit road. Yesterday staying out for a while.
Yeah, see that was my assumption. I figured they were going to try to get to the halfway mark before they go grab tires.
Yeah, maybe that's just one of those deals where they can't now, and they kind of notice that. So we'll be looking right around lap 60 to head down pit road.
Yeah. You know, we're not really sure how much fuel is in the tanks for these guys. They are running 65%, so I don't really know how far that's going to get them.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. As it looks like, Garrett Austin having some connection issues. Ryan Newman down on pit road there too. There's Newman in that pink and white machine. And Reese Bogue coming down pit road. Looks like he was just on pit road, so it looks like he might have had a speeding penalty. As we see Scott Leonard just behind him, locking it down. So definitely a speeding penalty for Reese Bogue. Or not.
I wonder if he had issues. Did he forget to fuel up?
You know, I don't know, because it looks like, you know what? He might have had an excessive speeding penalty.
Oh.
So he had to make a stop and go on pit road.
Did Bogue have a penalty last week?
No. That was IRP, where he had the penalty for winning too much.
No, I thought someone had a penalty for being coming out of the pits. Maybe it was Shu.
Oh, yes, you're right. I think that might have been Shu, where, you know, he came out of the pits wrong, crossed the pit road line too soon, and gave him the penalty. And that's what it looked like for Bogue there too. 75 seconds down pit road with a 46-second stop. That is absolutely indicative of him coming across, because you see that blue cone right there in the blue line. All four tires need to be on and below the surface, or the racing surface, before you cross that line. Once you cross the line, you can do whatever you need. Seeing that pit stop time of 46 seconds leads me to believe that he had an issue coming onto pit road, and you know, unfortunately for him, that's going to cost him a bunch of time. He's now 2 laps down.
Yep. This looks like Shu's pitting.
Yep. Shu is on pit road. Stacy Hunter is on pit road as well. Or was on pit road. Stacy just left. So now Colton Easterday, you see him in the background. Easterday is going to be taking the lead back. And look at that. Let's take a look here at the pit stop lap for these drivers. Stan Hausman pitted first. He and Branson came down pit road on lap 30. Look at Hausman now. After all that shuffling, all that moving around, Stan Hausman, who was just kind of hanging out there in fifth, just a little bit behind the main pack, in front of the smaller pack towards the back. Now Stan Hausman sitting pretty in second place, maybe 5 seconds behind, but he's still looking good in second.
Right. Well, we could pretty much guarantee he's gonna take first when Easterday has to pit, which presumably is going to be in a couple laps.
Yeah, I mean, you know, let's take a look at the pit stop lap again, and you will see Easterday, he did 35 laps. If we average that out, they'll both be able to do 35. That puts Easterday coming down pit road on lap 70 for a 15-lap sprint to the end. Hausman, if he does 35 laps, that'll put him on lap 65. So there's still that 5-lap discrepancy where I think Hausman, if he pushes, he should have no problem also pitting on lap 70.
Yeah.
But coming in on lap 65, 5-lap fresher tires, that might just be that opportunity for him to come in and pick up the now six and change seconds of a gap between he and Easterday should we stay green. At this point now, if a yellow were to come out, you can throw everything we were just talking about right out the window and into the trash.
Yeah, because, I mean, at this particular point, you basically have a 2-car race right now with third through everyone else, almost 3/4 of a track behind.
Yeah, I mean, right here's Scott Leonard in third, Jason Shu right behind him in fourth. This is your track map. It's quite spread out. As we see the 60 of Easterday right down the back straightaway, right at that red dot there. That's your leader. These drivers are all coming out of turn 4. Oh, big wiggle there from the 19. Is Shu going to be able to capitalize on it? He is. They're side by side heading off into turn 1.
Yeah, so as I'm looking at the map, Easterday just crossed the line, now turning into turn 1. The third place Shu is just entering turn 3, which, you know, that he basically being caught up to. So that is a huge difference in where they are in this track.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it's growing.
It is. It definitely is. I mean, look at that. Hausman already fallen back some more. 8 seconds now between he and Easterday. It's, you know, it is actually pretty wild to see that gap, all because of green flag pit stops with a couple of drivers having issues. Bogue having his penalty. Now he's 2 laps down.
Which is rough.
And, you know, if I'm one of these drivers, I might be sitting there saying, all right, I don't really want a yellow right now. I just kind of want to race. I want to cruise. I don't really care that I'm 25, 30 plus seconds back. You know, I'm happy because I'm sitting in the top 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, if I'm Kirby especially, I'm sitting there saying, guys, I'm a lap down. I'm the only car a lap down. Maybe we get a yellow. Let me get that lap back. Let me prove that, you know, I am one of the fastest guys on track right now. Why not, you know?
Yeah. Well, then you remove first and second. So you have 3 through 6. They're only about 3.5 seconds away from each other. So this is basically a race for third unless there's a yellow.
Yeah, and this is the fight to get interviewed, we'll call it. Which right now, Shu is currently winning this fight. And he's opened himself up about, like you said, Joe, about a 2.5 second lead over the 92 of Branson, which Branson, don't forget, as he came down onto pit road, he spun. He lost some time. He was right on the back bumper of Hausman.
Yeah.
So, you know, that kind of explains why the 92 is 27 seconds behind the leader instead of maybe 12 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, he lost a lot of time with that bump into the wall.
That's for sure. So your leader, Colton Easterday, right here coming across the start-finish line. That pack we were just showing, currently in the middle, just exiting turn 2 now. So very interesting to see, you know, how this is all gonna play out. Because, Joe, there's still 38 laps to go.
Yeah. There is indeed.
So here's Hausman, all kind of in a bit of a no man's land there in second place, just cruising. I'm sure he's a driver that says, no, no, you know what? I don't really think I want a yellow right now. I think I'm happy where I am. With the Brookstone Animal Hospital on the hood of that machine. Great looking car.
Yeah. Now, in terms of standings, if Colton Easterday is able to hold on here, huge bump for him. He is currently in 29th.
Wow.
So
yeah, that is going to be a massive bump for him.
Yeah. So Hausman, on the other hand, who is chasing but not too close behind, currently sitting in 8th place. So still a lot to gain from him, but just a huge bump up for Colton if he is able to hold on.
Definitely. I mean, there's 35 laps left to go in this one. He's got about a 11 and a half second lead. I think he's looking pretty good at this moment. But all it takes is one little, snap of the wheel, one, loose handling and ill handling race car. Oh, as we say that, Newman slides through the grass, able to keep it under control, and we'll stay green for now. Let's take a look at that one on the Tabletop Trio replay. Wow, that started all the way back. So here he is coming out of turn, or in between turns 3 and 4. Got some right side damage, just got real loose, had to chase it down the track into the grass. Chased the car back up the track, got on the gas. Tires have no grip because they just went through the dirt. Comes back through the dirt again. Somehow able to keep it up and running.
A nice little lockup where it's like, okay, just a little quick 1 second restart.
And another issue for Newman, this time on pit road.
Yeah, he might be having some tire issues.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he, damaged the rear end, maybe a toe link or something like that getting into the wall. Because you do see he has some heavy right side damage. So there's Newman on pit road still. Easterday goes around, puts him another lap down. And look at this. That right there is the battle for 4th. Between Williams, Branson, and Leonard. Hunter has just been put a lap down.
Branson just tapped the wall, so he fell back just a little bit.
Stacy Hunter, the first and only car 1 lap down. So I think at this point, if I'm Hunter, I'm saying, all right, let's get that yellow. Let's get the yellow before he gets around the 19. Let me get my lap back, please.
Exactly. Just give me the yellow. Give me the yellow. I need that. Let me get back in here.
So there goes Easterday around Hunter, or Leonard, rather. So Scott Leonard gets 1 lap down. Easterday is just checked out. 12.5 second lead over the 39 of Stan Hausman.
Looks like Newman is indeed done for the day.
I am interested to see what happened to Kirby, because Kirby is currently being scored in 11th place. It's
1 lap back.
1 lap down, but I don't know if that is actually the case or not. As we see Easter Day put Branson a lap down. So only
Yeah, no,
four
it's-
cars left on the lead lap. Easter Day's sights are set on the 35 of Williams.
So just a little bit of a bug issue. Kirby is actually 6 laps behind.
Okay.
7.
Getting a great view of these cars here. Just a good fight brewing.
Yeah, now I'm really interested to see where they're gonna pit. Are they gonna stay in that like 30 lap? Ooh, we got a yellow. I don't see any
Well?
crashes.
Well, Joe, this changes everything. As let's take a look at the cause for the yellow right here. Well, I'm not even seeing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what triggered.
Let's take a look here on the replay. Want to see here, as I'm just waiting to see when the lights on the pace card turn on. Okay, so that is the time of caution. Just looking to see what... Aha! We have found the culprit.
We figured it out.
Unfortunately, it's this guy. His night has just gone from bad to worse. Reese Bogue. So here's Bogue coming through turns 3 and 4. Already sideways there. Car kind of snaps.
Yeah. You never want to see gray smoke on the back of your rear tires in the middle of a turn.
That is for sure. Able to get it going. Little too much rotation. Cold tires. No grip off the grass. And that's when the yellow comes out.
Well, remember what we were talking before about throw out everything we've been talking about because now anything could happen? We're here.
There it is. Although, if I'm Tim Branson right now, I am saying, Reese, I owe you dinner. I owe you anything you want because I'm back on the lead lap.
Yeah, your next set of tires are on me.
So we'll see a couple of drivers a lap down in front of the 60. Deus is there. Leonard is there as well. Hunter, Evan Williams coming down pit road. Deus actually looking like he's staying out. So he'll get the wave around, so he'll pick up a lap.
Yeah.
Which with that, I believe Deus will only be 1 lap down now.
I mean, hey, another caution comes out and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I think, right now with the way the speed has been, I still think Easter Day is, the one to watch here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, with Stan Hausman right there, Jason Shue as well, Zach Williams in there, Tim Branson as well. That's your top 5. Those 5 drivers are the only 5 cars on the lead lap.
Right.
23 laps to go. I think that's the last time these guys will have to come down pit road for anything, unless there's another yellow. Then I'm sure they'll want to come down and get fresh tires for the end.
Right.
So I think at this point, if I'm Branson, I'm saying, all right, I'm the lucky dog. I'm going to have to be in the back of the pack. I should be able to get around the lap cars easily, but that still leaves me a pretty big gap to the rest of the cars. So Williams, Shu, Hausman, Easterday, those are the 4 that are going to have prime real estate with Hausman, or with Branson rather, a little bit further back. This, this could get a little interesting here.
Yeah, it definitely could.
So we'll get the restart with 21 laps to go. Colton Easterday, Stan Hausman in row number 1. Jason Shu, Zach Williams in row number 2. The lapped cars are Scott Leonard, Stacy Hunter, as well as Deus, who's just now coming down pit road, it looks like. Reese Bogue is in the mix there. Bogue 2 laps down. Evan Williams 4 laps down. Kirby not on the track at the moment. Same with Ryan Newman. And Garrett Austin, looks like. So these 4 drivers right now are, have the best chance at winning. Pace car pulls off. Green flag in the starter's hand, waiting. There it is. Green flag in the air. We're back to racing here at Kansas. Hausman has the outside. He's going to try to make a run towards the top. Easterday is going to try to plug the top. He does. 3 wide towards the back. Here comes Reese Bogue trying to get his lap back the hard way. Bogue looking like he was shot out of a cannon. Gets around Stan Hausman. Now he's going to set his sights on the 60 of Easterday. But Easterday, trouble! Easterday sideways through the grass. Hausman to the point.
Oh, man, what a tough break.
Let's get a check on that one more time. Because
he's able to recover, and he's basically just set to the back of the pack, but man.
So here's Easterday now. Coming out of 4, just gets real sideways. Cold tires. Get some air there, too.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that felt good on your spine, as we talked about earlier with that barely any suspension kind of thing.
Definitely not. So now Easterday has a lot of work to do. He's 4 seconds back. Looks like the 35 of Williams gets in the wall.
I saw him get a little whirly,
but now this is your fight for the win. Stan Hausman, Jason Shu, and look at that, Tim Branson, 2.7 seconds back. Shu has Williams of the Evan variety just behind him.
I think Easterday, is he out? Did he take some heavy damage?
Easterday down pit road. Currently not showing on the track right now either.
Yeah, Colton Easterday, client disconnected. He's out for the race. I guess he took some heavy damage that we didn't see with that little hop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that grass does not do great things to the race car, especially flying through the air like that. Wow, that is...
Yeah, up's not the problem. It's coming back down. It's the one that gets you.
Yeah. The curse of the leader tonight. So far, the leader has crashed out of the lead twice. Yeah. Chris Darling a couple of laps into the race, and then just moments ago, where the 60 of Colton Easterday slides it out of 4 through the grass and out of the race.
Wild.
So now the torch gets passed to the 39 of Stan Hausman. Hausman having a pretty good but quiet season so far, and honestly, that's all you can ask for. Keeps his nose clean, keeps out of trouble, doesn't get involved in any wrecks, incidents, etc., etc. Now he's just got to put in some good lap times, keep that gap up. He's got a second and a half over Jason Shu. Ignore any lap cars who may or may not be coming towards you, like this 33 here of Williams. You know, if I'm Hausman, I'm just saying, all right, bud, go for it. Have fun. Have fun storming the castle.
Yeah.
Williams takes a peek to the high side. Hausman is there. Chris Darling in the chat says, let's go, Stano.
Now this goes back to earlier. Hunter, I believe, is 12. JC Hunter is 11th. Tied for 11th. He's really hoping for a yellow.
I think at this point, anyone who's not Stan Hausman or Jason Shu is saying, guys, I could use that yellow right now.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm someone like Bogue and I gamble, I stay out on old tires, get my lap back the hard way, take that wave around.
Yeah.
You know, same maybe with Scott Leonard as well. Hunter, if the yellow comes out, gets his lap back regardless. Tons and tons of different strategies, different options we could see. But right now, that gap between Hausman and Shu is closing ever so slightly. Last 2 times by, Shu faster than Hausman. Let's see what it is here. Another 0.2 faster from Shu. Five laps is about a second if he keeps that 0.2 of a second gap. We might see ourselves a incredible 6-lap fight between Stan Hausman and Jason Shu, if these times stay the way they are.
Right. Which is a big if.
Let's see, that time by, Hausman picked up a 10th. Clear track between Shu and Hausman. That is your gap. I'm sure if the TNR faithful are watching right now, they are cheering on Jason Shu. That time by Hausman, about a second faster. Or pardon me, a second slower. Oh, little loose there. You heard the engine kind of bobble. That's going to allow Shu to catch up just a little bit more. Almost even that time through. 8 laps to go. I think right now, if I'm Stan Hausman, that winning move was him to come down first. Get some tires right around lap 30. Just run quick, consistent lap times. Plugged his way through the field.
Yeah, it was a really solid move.
Hausman a little sideways through 2, but that's going to help him turn a little bit better.
You're now a second behind.
He is able to get around the 33 of Williams, so now Shu's going to have the 33 to contend with. However, 33 hanging right on the bumper of Hausman as he scratches the wall just a little bit. And right here, you could really see on this blimp cam just the difference in lines these drivers are taking.
It's really all over. I was watching Bogue for a little bit because he's in front of them, I guess, still trying to kind of see if he could circle his way around, and he's taking a very hard inside. Trying to, I guess, make up a little bit of time, but
Yeah, there goes Bogue. There's Hausman. There's Shu. Gap is built up just a little bit, now about 9/10 of a second for Shu, with 5 laps remaining coming to fourth. Right now in the driver's seat, that heart's starting to pound just a little bit more. The more realization you have is, oh man, this might be a good finish. This could get good quick. That heart rate's starting to pick up. The chest start pounding just a little bit. Also, at the same time in that driver's seat, you're sitting there saying, oh, wait, that's a new sound, or, oh, that, okay, uh-oh, we're, car's feeling a little weird. Let's get it to turn. Those tires aren't really feeling connected to the track anymore. What's going on? So there's all those thoughts going on in the drivers' heads right now. And look at this. Shu has closed the gap 0.6 of a second now. Is Shu going to run out of time? 2.5 circuits around this Kansas Speedway.
yeah, if you got any tricks for this track, I think now's the time to use them.
That is
As
for sure.
Bogue pit.
Yeah, it looks like Reese Bogue heading down pit road. Six-tenths of a second almost between Jason Shu and Stan Hausman. There's your gap. As Hausman is going to see the white flag in the air. One more lap to go here at Kansas.
Can he make up half a second? Oh, he's coming in quick.
Down to 4/10 down the back straightaway. This is the last opportunity for Shu. Can Hausman hold him off? Through 3 and 4, one final time. Shu putting on a valiant effort. Not going to be enough. Stan Hausman wins at Kansas.
Wild race.
What a finish. What a wild, wild last 23 laps.
Yeah.
Stan Hausman gets the win. Jason Shu comes home second. Tim Branson guts this one out after spinning on lap 30 coming down pit road. Branson comes home P3. Chris Darling in the chat says, after all the support Stan gives to this league, this is a feel-good win. What a run. I could not agree more. Hausman burns it down in front of the fans. Just a well-deserved win. We'll start pulling our drivers here into the waiting room just to get these guys set. And Joe, I do believe you've caught up with our third place finisher for tonight's race. Driver of the number 92 machine, Tim Branson.
Hey, Tim. Congrats on the position. Great race for you. It was kind of hectic. You were way back there, and then all of a sudden, just kind of ended up all the way up in the front. How did the race turn out for you?
Well, it's like we were talking about inside the channel. I was just planning on sitting back and just managing tires the whole time. And then things just started popping off there in the middle. I came out of the first pit stop, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? Why am I this far up? So, and as the things kept progressing, I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't cool. Somebody else has got to be in this spot. It ain't me. But no, we had fun. It was just a management race. I mean, you couldn't really push it that hard. I mean, you seen what happened to Reese and Colton and everybody else. I mean, they had the race won until they didn't. So,
Yeah.
but no, it was cool.
Well, I'm glad it all worked out for you. It was crazy to see on our end. We were like, wait a minute, what happened? But
It's like, what the hell is that car doing up there?
but I'm glad it worked out. Do you have any shout outs for us?
I do want to thank the Max Graphics guys for letting me hang out with them because they're a cool bunch of dudes. I mean, they've actually helped me quite a bit. And then I've got a couple of sponsors that help me out. The Tunnel Towers Foundation, I get a little bit from them, and then AEW Wrestling, and who else is out there? And Fastway Motorsports. So
Awesome. Well,
but yeah,
congrats again, and good luck next week.
All right. Well, this is probably a once in a lifetime thing, so enjoy it while I got it.
I hope to see you here next week.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you. All right, later.
All right, that is Tim Branson, our third place finisher. I'm now joined by our second place finisher, driver of the number 3 machine, Jason Shu. And Jason, congratulations there, second place finish, a wild one there. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, it was definitely a wild race. I mean, you just didn't want to overdrive the car too much and get your tires to wear out that you get too loose. And 5 more laps, I think I'd have had this race tonight.
Yeah, we're watching that gap, and with probably about 10 to go, you're picking up a good 1 to 3 tenths of a second per lap. Started to fall back a little bit. Was that just a matter of, all right, let me just kind of cool these tires down, let me see if I can push for a last couple of lap run?
Yeah, it's basically what I was doing. That way I could go for it the last 5, 10 laps.
And almost right there. It looks like you were closing pretty quickly there with the last couple of laps in. Do you after that restart and seeing the 60 spin, is that kind of when you said, all right, this is looking like I've got one heck of a chance?
Yeah, when I seen the 60 spin, I thought me and Stan has a chance to win the race. One of us is going to get it.
and that's pretty much what happened there for you. Taking a look for next week, heading to Twin Ring Motegi, or Mobility Resort Motegi now is what it's called. Road course race. What are your thoughts heading over there?
Stay on the course and not run off of it and mow the grass.
Yeah, Shoes Lawn Care not looking to transfer out to Japan anytime soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting race.
That is for sure. And Jason, before we let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs, so let's hear them.
I want to thank Chris for having the league and Bob for you to broadcasting. It's definitely fun, so we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Well, good luck out there next week, Jason, and congrats on P2 tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Jason Shu, our second place finisher. And Joe, I believe you've caught up with our winner for tonight's race, driver of the number 92, or driver of the number 39 machine of Stan Hausman.
Go.
Hey, what's up, Stan? Congratulations on the victory. Crazy race. You were kind of snuck in there at second. We thought that's kind of where it was going to be. The race was kind of calm. Mm-hmm. And then lap 65 rolls around. Colton slides out. You're in first. What was your thought process?
No, on that last restart, I was taking more inventory of the guys behind me. To be honest with you, Colton and Reese had me by a couple tenths all day, and at about 20 laps, I basically lost rear grip. So I was looking behind me, and that's why I let Reese go. I was like, all right, cool. I've got about a second on Jason. I'll let Reese go, and then I glanced up and Colton was the setup was tricky. It would push a little bit when it got cloudy. It would get loose when the sun came out. And pit road's always treacherous at Kansas. So it's one of those days you don't make a mistake and good things happen.
Yeah, it ended up working out in your favor. You said that the pits are a little treacherous. What was your plan pitting the race? Because I think you were a little off. I think you pitted really early compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I was losing rear grip, so I knew if I went more than about 30 laps when I would go to come to pit, I'd probably spin it on entry. So I chopped the race up 30, 30, 25. If with 85 laps, if we went green the whole way. So, I was able to keep grip, get on pit road, get off pit road. And I was surprised that first pit stop when I cycled back through and I was, all the way up to either second or third. I must have, everyone must have had some issues getting on and off pit road, but I just wanted to come in early before the tires were completely dead and give myself the best chance to get on and off of pit road.
Yeah, well, it definitely worked out, and with the couple yellows we had, it kind of lined you up perfectly for the victory.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'd rather be lucky than good.
With that, do you have any shout-outs for us?
Oh, yeah, crazy. The guys in the top three, guys I've been racing with for 2 or 3 years now from the NSRA days, so it's good to see Tim get up on the top three. Same thing with Jason. Paint scheme was done by sim rep guy himself, Chris Darling, so thanks for that. Brookstone Animal Hospital, if you're in the Atlanta metro area, good place to take your animals. My wife's the medical director there, so she'll take good care of them. And thanks to you guys for doing what you do on the broadcast. I really do appreciate you guys broadcasting this.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations again on the victory, and good luck next week.
Thanks.
All right, that will do it for our post-race interviews tonight. What a fantastic drive out there. A lot of chaos. Looks like people did not really want to be in the lead after all the craziness that was going on there tonight. But why don't we take a quick look here at the results for tonight's race? Stan Hausman got the win. Jason Shu in second. Tim Branson comes home third. Stacy Hunter is the first car, one lap down in fourth. Scott Leonard in fifth. Reese Bogue comes home in sixth, 3 laps down. Evan Williams, after having an incident on the opening pace lap, comes home in seventh, 4 laps down. And then Sidarius Deus comes home in eighth, 5 laps down. Zach Williams, Colton Easterday, Stephen Kirby, Ryan Newman, Garrett Austin, and Chris Darling all fall victim to various incidents throughout the race and out of the race. And that will close things up for our 14-car field. Joe, next week, a road course at Twin Ring Motegi in Japan. Mobility Resort Twin Ring. Mobility Resort.
Believe in you.
Ring. It's not even a twin ring anymore. The oval doesn't exist in real life. So, that's going to be a very fun track, a technical track, quite a bit of undulation, some highs, some lows, and everything in between. So that's going to be a very, very fun race for us next week here on the SPEED Xfinity Series.
Definitely one to tune in for. You always love to see Xfinity NASCARs on road courses. It's going to be a fun one.
That is for sure. Want to thank our sponsor, Mark's Pizzeria, for stepping up for tonight. Since 1982, Mark's Pizzeria has been serving up legendary pizza crafted with fresh, high-quality ingredients and with their signature homemade sauce. Every pizza is made to order, and it's got some delicious hand-tossed dough topped with premium cheeses and a whole bunch of different toppings. So if you're just craving the classic cheese pizza, or if you're looking for something special with all your favorite ingredients, Mark's Pizzeria has you covered. They have a whole bunch of locations up in the upstate New York area, so make sure you check them out online, markspizzeria.com. Well, a little bit of a programming note for us here on the Tabletop Trio podcast. You could always join us you could join us tomorrow night for the Tabletop Trio podcast right around 8 o'clock Eastern here on both YouTube and Twitch. And then this Sunday, a very, very special episode. We're going to be broadcasting live from the Gundam Kitchen and Millennium Hobbies down in southern New Jersey, in Blackwood, New Jersey. So you're going to want to check that out. We're going to be chatting with the owner of the Gundam Kitchen, talking all sorts of different hobbies out there. So definitely one you're going to want to tune into for sure. Plus, we've got Total Nonstop Racing and the SPEED Xfinity Series coming up next week as well. You can check out all the info, tabletoptrio.com. So, for one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
And this has been the SPEED Xfinity Series live from Kansas Speedway. Have a great night.